What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Evening, everybody. So it's 8:30. It's Saturday. Time to let it out. Um, just off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure I titled this multitasking because your boy is trying to do a lot, but a real small window of time. So, like bright as hell. Um, so yeah, my thing today is going to be on multitasking because juggling multiple things at one time is becoming a new trait for me. Um, whether that be different kinds of groups of people that I associate with and friends and communicate with, to the different types of jobs that I um, currently hold and am involved in, to um, just the different lifestyles that I find myself mingling in. Um, I have you well, in general, my thinking is you have like the friend lifestyle, you have the family lifestyle, then you have a work lifestyle, then if you have like a religious belief, you have that lifestyle. um and for me, all four of those come into play as well. uh so I see multitasking for me in a lot of senses is easy. It's simple. It's something that I do regularly without too much of a hassle because it's something that I've always done. Um, so, one of the ways that I wanted to start out with is, like I said, the groups that I associate with are the friendships that I make. Um, I seem to find myself being able to mingle with different walks of life, different variations, people that come from different areas, different backgrounds. Everybody from the biker to the the band geek, quote unquote, or the bookworm, the country fan, the adventurer, the person that likes to go hiking or camping or be physically fit and be active and like working out, sports. Like I find myself able to mingle with different groups and different people, but that kind of ties in with the lifestyle part because um, in each group you have to be different. You can't be the same way you are on a basketball court in the middle of um, surgery, basically. You know what I mean? Um, you can't have the mindset of a con artist and a scammer and then turn around and think that you have the same mindset of a um, pastor or priest. Well, I guess that's not really a good example because a lot of people are probably going to jump in there and say that, well, some of those guys do wrong too. But you know what I mean. Like the idea of what those are supposed to mean compared to the idea of what the other one is supposed to mean. Um, you can't be a burglar and call yourself a righteous man. You can't be a deceiver but say that you're trustworthy and responsible. You know what I mean? Like those things in my mind. Again, these are all just my opinions, my personal thoughts on things. So, being around the quote unquote ex biker or the ex gang member or the ex club party goer, um, each person has their own attributes, their own personality, their own character traits, their own way to interact with one another. So for me, it's not really who they were or the environment they used to be in. It's how are they toward me? How does this person make me feel when I'm around them? Do I feel safe? Do I feel comfortable being who I am? Or do I feel like I have to hide who I am and change who I am just to communicate and associate with this person? A lot of times I found that, my mingling and being able to adjust and coexist with different people from different walks of life was mainly because it was like a survival skill. It was like a survival tactic. It was just something I was doing to cope with the situation and just get through it peacefully. It wasn't because I was really comfortable being involved or associating with those kind of people. Um, but then, that could also spill over into a work situation. Sometimes you find yourself in a work environment where you like the job, but you don't like the coworkers, or you like the coworkers, but you don't like the work environment. There's different avenues where um, you can find yourself trying to adjust or mingle or coexist just to survive, just to get by, just to make peace so you can get through the day and go do what you have to do later, so for me, it's not necessarily a challenge. I just look at it as an opportunity to learn about something or someone new. You know what I mean? Because I learn something new from everybody. You know, um, even the I hate to say this, even the quote unquote racist can teach you something. Okay, you may not like how they feel about expressing their opinions on the skin tone of someone else, but that same person might be a very skilled engineer, a very smart technician. Um, they might be one of the best stylists in the area, but because you don't like their opinion on a person's appearance, you negate the ability to find out how to piece together the right fabrics and the right garments and how to tastefully blend colors, so that they're eye catch and not an eyesore. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to be able to switch and not so much put on a facade, but be able to be yourself in a way that allows you to still be open to learning from other unique individuals because we're all different. You know what I mean? We're not all the same. So if you're the same to everyone and are able to do that in a way that allows them to feel comfortable being themselves, then you're able to learn something from everyone, because they're open to sharing with you the knowledge and the wisdom that they have. If you're standoffish and antisocial and threatening and intimidating and imposing, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to be stuck learning whatever you're able to learn in your own limited resources in this world. And that's it. That's literally it. So I've learned to mingle with other people and get to know them and what they're interested in because just out of coincidence, just out of circumstance, they might actually like something I like. We might actually share a common interest if I actually just take the time to talk to them for a couple minutes and get to know a basic idea of them. I'm not saying you have to commit to that person for the rest of your life right there in the first 5, 10 minutes. No, I'm saying like never rule off anyone until you've taken the time to speak to them directly and personally and you've talked to them yourself so you can form your own opinion. So that's what I do. And a lot of times I've found that just because a person's in a suit and tie and they go to a corporate job every day, they're just as regular as the homeless guy I see sitting outside the Circle K every morning. They have some of the same concerns, some of the same stresses. The only difference is one already lives outside and one's trying to stay from living outside. You see the difference? That's it. One understands they could easily be out there, the other one is out there and trying to get from out there. So I just learned to meet people where they're at and be who I am where I'm at. And it's allowed me to be able to relate and communicate and associate and network with different people from different walks of life, from the business owner to the struggling person out there just out of jail or prison trying to find a job, to from the single mother to the single father to the two family household to the kid who lost their parents at a young age and they've been raised by family. You know what I mean? To the person that goes to church all the time and was raised in the church, to a person that's never even thought of going inside a church building. And 9 times out of 10 is going to walk away from anybody that mentions Christianity to them or any type of religion. Because I'm not looking at the person, I'm looking at what our shared interest in. Do we have a common ground? Is there somewhere where we can meet and be on the same playing field and the same level that opens the door for me to be able to talk to them, for me to even be able to sit down comfortably and not feel awkward like this is a complete stranger, we have nothing in common? I never know that if I won't even talk to them. They ask me how I'm doing and I don't even suggest something slight of interest to me. I never open the window for them to say something of interest to them. So I'm able to meet just about anybody, and that's simple for me. Um, and then with family, you have different types of family members. Just in family alone, you have different walks of life, different people from everywhere. So you are bound to have to make adjustments in how you talk from one cousin to another cousin, or how you approach the elders in your family, from your grandmothers and your grandfathers to your aunts and your uncles, as opposed to how you talk to your brothers and sisters and your cousins and your nieces and nephews and such and so forth. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has a different line of communication, and you have to know what that is. It doesn't make you fake. It's part of life. You have to know who you're communicating with in order to communicate with them effectively and get what you want and give them what they want, so that there's no tension or there's no issues in the moment that you guys are together. The other aspect for me is when it comes to like work. For me right now in my life, that means trying to multitask, working multiple jobs, trying to find other ways to supplement my income. Just in some ways trying to multitask in careers and revenue opportunities, because I am in some situations fearful of the future, in other ways trying to prepare for a uncertain future, because I never know what's going to happen. I want to be able to be prepared and ready if the time comes and I need something. I don't just want to be trying to do everything last minute. I want to at least have a uh, head start in that direction, of something that I am able to transition into. I slightly had a uh, life changing scare within the last year and a half. So I am just trying to be cautious, just trying to prepare. And it has caused me to be in a situation where now I am multitasking in a way that I didn't prepare for, but in a way that I feel grateful and blessed to be in. So I'm going to try to pull it off and make it work, if that makes any sense. Um, right now, things are a little shaky because it's new. So I'm trying not to get overwhelmed and discouraged. I'm trying not to allow it to uh, detour me or make me feel like I'm overloaded or overwhelmed, as most people say. Because I've never felt overwhelmed about much in my adult life, mostly because that life has been trying to serve God more than myself. So I've just been trying to trust Him to take the reins and guide me in the right direction and help me to allow things to play out in the way that He needs them to play out, and not the way I'm impatiently trying to get them to go. So when opportunities present themselves, I don't look at it as too much. I don't look at it as I'm being stretched thin. I personally look at it as I am being given an opportunity to um, show my appreciation and my gratitude for the opportunity. You know, he's blessing me with the chance to um, reach the goals that I want to reach, but in a way that is conducive to his purpose and will for me. So I try not to get too burdensome or worn out or weighed down when I am being loaded with um, different work and job opportunities. Because I always welcome the opportunity to learn again, whether it be a job trade or a lifelong skill. I always have been willing to try to work in doing something on this planet just in case I can't find somebody else to do it for me. I may have to do it myself. You know what I mean? I may not always have the money to hire a professional to sit down and take care of a job for me. I may have to just sit there and have enough to get the material, read a instruction manual, or follow the directions, or pull up a video um, and watch a tutorial or something. You know what I mean? I may have to figure out a way to do this, but I got to figure it out. So if somebody's willing to show me a way, it may not be the only proper way. It may not even be 100% the right way, but if they're willing to show me a way to do something to where I may be able to learn it enough to do it on my own, I'm about to learn it. I'm about to give it a shot. And I'm going to make some kind of an income or revenue off of it. Yes, absolutely. I am 100%. Yes, I'll do it. Let's go. How long is it going to take? So I know not to overbook myself and overcommit to something that's going to take longer than I have the time to give it. But yeah, let's go. I'll do it. I'll try it. I'll work. If I get done and you don't like my work, tell me what I did wrong so I can learn from it. Show me what I did wrong. Help me learn from it. If you don't like it enough to where you don't even want to teach me that, then that's fine. There it is there. But I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try anyway. That's just how I am. That's just the person I am. So it comes across as multitasking a lot because I'll be in the middle of doing my landscaping and somebody may need an outlet rewired or switched out. They may have a flat tire that they just came out of the house and they were going to make a store run, but now their tire's flat, so they need to take care of that. So I may stop what I'm doing and go help them. I may be at the store grocery shopping and see somebody struggling to do something or grab something, and I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll help them. You know what I mean? Like it. That's not work. That was a bad example. Don't listen to that part. I guess I'm just rambling now at this point. I'm just saying, like I don't mind doing other things if it helps me feel like I learned something. You know what I mean? Hell, I didn't know anything about excuse my language. I didn't know anything about irrigation repair until I started doing landscaping. I didn't know anything about tree work until I started learning irrigation repair and started learning about tree roots and how they go into irrigation lines and plumbing lines and how they can mess up sprinkler heads. Like, seriously? Like, I didn't know um, anything about painting until someone had one asked me if I knew how to change a lock on a door, and I didn't would have never learned how to change a lock on a door if I hadn't got into a hard situation in an apartment I was living in when I was younger and needed to kind of work out a way to pay my rent, and they had a position available on the maintenance crew, so I was able to take the job on maintenance to pay for my rent, and I learned how to change a lot, but I also learned how to change an outlet, how to switch out a breaker box, or how to install a window screen. You know what I mean? How to change a exhaust fan in a bathroom, or how to paint a apartment. It was because I was in a bind. I had to take on a job that I'd never done before, but it was a situation that worked out for everyone in the situation. And I ended up learning so much from that one job. I'm able to do that with my handyman service. You see what I mean? Like, I wouldn't know anything about how to do riprap or decorative gravel if I hadn't got into partnering with an artificial turf installation business and doing the labor work for them. You know what I mean? Like, um, I wouldn't know how to do the communication wiring for a business, office, warehouse, or factory if I hadn't needed the money and went to what most people call a day labor or a job labor hall, where they put you to work for the day and they pay you for the day. And they sent me to a company that needed a communication wire assistant to just feed wire to their specialist in tech while he dropped lines, color coded them, set them up, everything from your thermostats to your light switches to your internet cables to your phone lines to your alarm systems. I got to do that in one day, something I'd never done before. So, I mean, like, I'm always open to taking new jobs because I never know what I'm going to learn. I never know what I'm going to be able to do. I don't know anything. I didn't know anything about what housekeeping in a hospital or a hotel is. I didn't know the difference between the two. Uh-huh. There is a big difference because a housekeeper in a hospital is not the same as like a housekeeper in a hotel or a motel. That's more like room service or a maid. You know what I mean? Um, I mean, like, housekeeping at a hotel is like the guy that goes into the medical rooms and switches out the bedding or switches out the hazmat bins and the trash bins. You know what I mean? That's a little different than just cleaning up a hotel room. That takes a lot more awareness because you put the wrong thing with the wrong thing, you can get somebody hurt, or you can get yourself hurt. So, and then there's a difference between working in a restaurant and working in fast food. I would never know the difference had I not done both. There's a difference between um, being a doctor and being a dentist. So, why would you think that there's only one type of job out there that you can be capable of doing at the same time as doing another one? No, that's literally insane. Like, if we only did one thing in life as life, like to provide for our families and our income, even that one thing would involve having to do multiple things at the same time. Running my landscaping isn't just running my landscaping. It involves so many other things. It involves replying to clients and giving quotes and estimates. It reminds meeting that schedule and that time frame that I've set up with them. It requires making sure I have the right kind of help if I need help to do the job and then get the task completed. There's so much that goes with that. It's not just as simple as showing up, doing a job, and leaving. I have to make sure I notify them and communicate with them if something goes wrong or if I need something else. It's not as simple as, hey, this is what I do, let me do it, and I'm getting done. Even I know that. So that's where we are on that one. The other one is when it comes to church, which is another part of lifestyle, but for me, that's a different lifestyle because I have the lifestyle of family and friends that are supportive and are understanding of my new uh, path in life, my new commitment to God. And then there are others that don't understand it at all and they think it's just a facade. And though it's been, oh gosh, though it's been almost like 15 years now since I gave my life to Christ, running on 67, 16 now, 16, running on 17. Um, I want to say March of 2020 will be 17 years since I gave my life to Christ. Um, so yeah, it's just like for 17 years, people have thought I was going to change because for a while I was going to multiple churches. I was volunteering for church concerts and events, helping out as a volunteer, contributing for whatever they need help with, whether it's setting up for the event, participating with another organization that's involved in the event, supporting an artist of the event. It just a way of me serving within the community is how I looked at it. When it came to church, I had one church that I was in because that was the first church that I joined when I came home and got out of prison and joined the real world and tried to change my life after converting to Christianity while incarcerated. Um, it was just I was always told you need to find a church home. So that's what I did. I went and found a church home and I've been at that home since. A gentleman by the name of Earl Davis invited me there. And I went there once and I visited long, long time ago, but I didn't join the church. And then I started working with two gentlemen, uh, Jaime Garcia and Tony Moreno, and they invited me to their church, which just so happened to be the same church that Earl had previously invited me to. And the atmosphere caught me. So I joined the church. While joining, shortly after joining the church, I got involved with my ex wife and um, invited her to attend with me. And this was while we were just recently got engaged. And she was okay with the idea of joining me and going to church and building a relationship with God, but she was not thrilled about that specific church. So we relocated. We went to a different church together as a couple, which just so happened to be my grandmother's church on my father's side also. So it was easy to join that church and attend there. I got involved there, even after the divorce and everything happened. I still stayed involved there. I got involved with the young adult ministry there for a few years, and then I would still the entire time I was involved there, I would still attend my home church because my home church has a 7 o'clock service on Sundays and Wednesdays. So I was still able to go there, but I had so much um, on my plate and so much on my mind. And in some ways, I felt ashamed for going to the other church the way I did and getting involved in other ministries there's the way I did. That at that point, I was only going to my home church. I wasn't interacting with anybody. I was going within like 15 to 20 minutes after our new church started so that it'd be right after singing and off after praise and worship, right after offering, and people would already be sitting down to listen to the pastor's sermon, so they wouldn't be focused on who's in the foyer or the lobby, quote unquote. So I could just sit out there, listen to the service, don't actually have to go in, so nobody will ever see me. And before it ends and too many people start coming out, I can leave because I didn't want anyone to see me and recognize me and be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, where you been? And have to admit that it was because I was involved at another church. So I just wouldn't say anything. I just hide in the shadows for years and years and years. And I started feeling like a ghost. because within the last few months, when I started coming out of those shadows and started mingling with my brothers and sisters at my home church for the last 16 years, they didn't recognize me. And the ones that did thought that I had stopped coming and went somewhere else and wasn't really committed to the church. You see what I mean? So there's that. So I was always involved in two churches for that reason. But then when my grandmother passed, um, I got injured, and it just the occupation and the ministry that I was still involved at the church, which was mass media, it was just hard for me to still do that commitment. It's upstairs, and I could no longer make it up the stairs. Even now, I'm still having trouble in completing that feat in areas of my life. So pray for me on that one. But I just figured there wasn't any other ways that I could be of service there. And then with my grandmother being gone, with me being divorced now, so it's not like I'm there for my spouse's um, spiritual growth. I just recommitted to my home church and just started going there 3 times a week, twice on Sundays, and then on Wednesday nights. Um, so that's like the only thing that changed. I recommitted back to my home church and added one more visit on Sunday morning instead of just the Sunday evening and Wednesday evening. Um, with the volunteer thing, like I said, I just wanted to get out there and I'll be more open. And that's always been my way of serving. I'm always able to volunteer with them and not have to be held accountable for my service, if that makes sense. Not like anything that's going to go wrong. Not That's not what I mean. What I mean is like, um, I have a real problem with taking praise and compliments and act and congratulations on accolades or achievements, if that makes any sense. I'm not one of those prideful, arrogant people that wants you to puff me up, so to speak, or blow smoke up my rear. That's not me. I don't want somebody that's constantly telling me how great of a job I did. I want somebody that's constantly willing to tell me, hey, that's a really good job you did, but I noticed you didn't do as good as you normally did. Is something wrong? You know what I mean? That's the line of communication I would rather have. Don't just tell me the good stuff. If something is wrong, if something has changed for the worse, I need to know. I would like to know and let it, unless I catch it. And then that's just gonna make me feel worse because I'm gonna feel like I let you down. And if you saw it and you didn't tell me and help me fix it, and then you mention it later, that's gonna make me feel even worse. So no, I don't need a yes man, a yes man. I need somebody that's gonna say, hey Eli, you're messing up, bro. Your approach, the way you talk to people, the way you do things, it's wrong. But that's just me. Um, so yeah, so there it is. Work, friendship, belief system. Um, all of them have their own significant purposes. I multitask in each area because of the significance that it has for me, whether it's trying to get to know the individual and how we can mesh well, or trying to learn something new so that I can tradefully benefit from it, whether it helps me financially or not. At least I'm learning something in a new trade and a new career field, and I always relish that. And then there's when it comes to spiritual, I'm always open for growth. So I never close anything. I'm always open to accommodate those that are willing to grow closer to the same God that I serve. So whatever it takes to make that adjustment or make that switch, whether it be my personal appearance, if I know that dressing in a baggy t-shirt and some sweatpants and some tennis shoes with a t-shirt, I mean with a hat and my necklace and my jewelry showing makes you feel intimidated like you're around a thug, then I know I might need to dress a little business casual to make you feel comfortable. That's just my thought pattern because I consider these things. Um, I want people to feel comfortable around me in the spiritual realm, so I make that possible. So Thank you guys for the time of sharing this with me. Once again, that's just my personal opinion and reaction to multitasking. Um, I gave you guys 5 extra minutes, so I hope you guys enjoy. Till next weekend, you have a blessed day. Well, evening is what I meant. Later.